The twin lakes, Pedder and Gordon, in Tasmania's southwest, are a new vital energy source for the state, with the added bonus of providing a sporting and recreational playground. Before the Gordon River Power development, the southwest of Tasmania was almost uninhabited. The terrain is rugged, with areas of dense rainforest and impenetrable scrub, swept by westerly winds bringing an annual rainfall of 4 metres. Deep gorges and extensive button grass plains are also a feature of this area. It was here that Australia's largest inland freshwater lake was planned. The Tasmanian Hydroelectric Commission's scheme envisaged the construction of 3 rock-filled dams, one at Lake Edgar and another at Scott's Peak at the southern end of the proposed lake. The third on the Serpentine River near its junction with the Gordon. To contain the new Lake Gordon, a 140-metre-high concrete arch dam would be constructed in the Gordon Gorge. In the earliest stages of investigation, access to the area was on foot or by boat along the river chain. Then in 1956, the first helicopter flights were made for engineering reconnaissance. The machines were flown each summer, transporting engineers, geologists and hydrologists, as well as diamond drills, living accommodation and food to sites along the Gordon, Serpentine and Huon rivers. When the weather closed in, the men were isolated for weeks at a time. The road to the Gordon Dam site goes through some of the most beautiful scenery in Australia. It was in itself a mammoth task. Hundreds of men and machines were used right through the year in good weather and bad to push westwards to the Gordon River. During its construction, the roadwork uncovered some remarkable geological finds. Rocks up to 800 million years old were unearthed and later signposted to bring them to the attention of travellers. Viewing points along the road were also indicated by panoramic signs. Near the Gordon River Dam site, Strathgordon, the construction village to house both workers on the site and permanent residents was started in the 1960s. A contract worth more than $5 million was let to provide single and married accommodation, plus all major village amenities. All the buildings were prefabricated at a factory in Strathgordon and then erected on site. To construct the massive dam inside the narrow gorge, it was necessary to divert the river. The initial diversion was done by constructing a rock-filled dam. water then flowed through a 340-metre-long diversion tunnel. Because the river was subject to sudden severe flooding, the 8-metre-wide tunnel was designed to take 6 times the average flow. A temporary 22-metre-high coffer dam was constructed before any major work started on the main dam. To provide a good foundation for the main dam abutments, the gorge face had to be cleared. Because of the distance across the height of the main gorge, the normal means of firing pilot ropes for the cable car was not possible. So a helicopter was used to lay the first nylon rope from side to side. Heavier ropes were then hauled across until the final 3-inch steel cable was laid. The height of the aerial cableway from the bottom of the gorge was equal to a 60-storey office block. It was normally used to carry equipment, rigs and material for building the Gordon River Dam, but it also carried men across the gorge. 17 men crossed the gap each trip. Originally, the face of the gorge was a mass of walkways, but later the main access to the gorge was by haulage way built up the left abutment of the dam. Strathgordon village is laid out in east and west settlements, divided by a distinctive ridge. Its peak population in mid-1970 was 2,000. Facilities included a shopping complex around a central court protected by covered ways and housing a supermarket, hairdresser, laundrette, butcher, cafe, post office and bank. In conjunction with the building of the chalet was a heated swimming pool and sports centre. Although major work centred on the Gordon Dam construction, work was proceeding on the Scott's Peak and Serpentine rockfill dams. The Serpentine Dam, now nearing completion, was given a sealing coat of bitumen on its upstream face. On the highest concrete dam in Australia, the final concrete pour was a major event for all concerned. 160,000 cubic metres of concrete was used in the construction of the Gordon Dam. This type of dam, more than any other, required sound rock abutments to take the immense thrust of water trapped behind it. The filled Lake Gordon imposes forces of 500,000 tonnes on each side of the gorge. A controlled filling outlet that could be used to regulate the rise of storage level was constructed in the dam face. Eventually, this valve will be permanently closed off. The power station, 200 metres underground, was designed to be remotely controlled from Hobart. It can be reached from the top by a lift or from the Gordon Road by a road tunnel. Water to drive the turbo generators is taken in through the intake tower and carried through vertical and horizontal conduits to the turbines. The two generators being installed initially have a capacity of 288,000 kilowatts, with an assessed energy output of 1,470 million kilowatt hours a year. There is provision for the installation of 3 additional generators to meet expected peak load demand. In October 1977, the first generator was commissioned. The waters, having performed their vital task, returned to the Gordon. The massive body of water formed by the two interlocking lakes is a happy hunting ground for trout fishermen. Although fish were found in the rivers which fed the lakes, in 1972 350,000 brown trout fry were placed in Lake Pedder, and today the fishing is excellent. Brown trout of up to 12 kilos have been caught on artificial lures, and good catches have been made using dry flies. Fishermen from all over Australia now come to Lake Pedder to try their luck. In December 1977, a further attraction was added to cater for visitors who wanted to get out onto the lakes. The ferry Bundeena comes from a generation of New South Wales boats which plied between Cronulla and Port Hacking. Capable of carrying 142 passengers, she now takes the visitor in comfort past some of the finest scenery in the world. Tasmania, Australia's island state, has taken another step forward in hydropower generation. It is a power scheme costing $185 million, which has enabled many people to move into the southwest, an area of great scenic beauty. Lake Pedder and Lake Gordon are magnificent attractions, not only for Australians, but for people from all over the world.